We are ready for the opening tip, and we're officially underway. It is BU who controls the tip. They'll be on offense first. Starting five for the Terriers: Kyron Alexander, Michael McNair, Miles Brewster, Malcolm Chimezi, and Nico Nobili. Here is Alexander. Now Miles Brewster, the grad student, was in preseason All-Patriot League pick. Hasn't quite lived up to the billing, but he's always dangerous, number 24 in red. Turnaround jumper is good for Michael McNair.
Smooth move by McNair. You mentioned it in the open. He can flat out shoot to the tune of 42% beyond the arc, 44 from the floor.
Yeah, really, and has had some really good games against Lehigh as well. Speaking of Lehigh, the starting five for them: Cam Gillis back in the starting lineup after missing last game with a minor injury. He starts alongside Tyler Whitney-Sidney, Hank Alvey, Josh Ingram, and Edward Benoit. 5 to shoot for Lehigh. The jumper is no good from Benoit, and the rebound goes to Chimezi. Brewster kicks out for McNair. Nobili. Brewster looking for the pick and roll, kickball violation. Brett Reed in his 18th year at the helm, 286 wins, creeping up on 300. Will likely hit that mark next year. As we're going to get press. Into Gillis. Tyler Whitney-Sidney helps get it across. As Lehigh looking for their first bucket of the game. Ingram on the right wing. Benoit was looking for Tyler Whitney-Sidney, couldn't bring in the pass, and it's a turnover for Lehigh. BU coming the other way. Brewster. Down low to Chimezi. Kicks out. A three from Alexander is no good, and the rebound plucked out of the air by Josh Ingram. Benoit in the corner for Whitney-Sidney, and not
passes, but got to secure those things if you want to limit your mistakes, limit the turnovers, especially in a high profile game like this.
Here is Alexander. Gets the pick from Nobili. McNair up top for Brewster. 10 to shoot for BU. Alexander gets going. Kyron Alexander puts it up, it's no good. Rebound tipped out and finally secured by Brewster. In the corner for Alexander. Good recovery defensively for Lehigh. McNair driving in, kicks out. Nobili fakes the three. And a foul called against. Foul on the floor, so BU will take it out. Into Brewster. Miles Brewster last year as a senior was an All-Patriot League second teamer, also made the All-Patriot League defensive team. Alexander was trying to pass it around Ingram, but they're going to say out of bounds. Last touch off of Alexander. It'll be Lehigh ball.
I tried to do that a little wraparound there under the basket.
Got to get creative sometimes. Handoff for Gillis in the corner. Tyler Whitney-Sidney keeps it in play. Down low, Benoit working on Nobili. Benoit showing off the post moves, can't finish though. And Nobili brings in the rebound.
Benoit has developed a lot more as a post player in his first year and as time has gone on, so look for him to make more of those down the stretch. I know he doesn't capitalize.
Yeah, Chimezi on the other end with the two. Makes it 4-0 BU. It's been a slow and cagey start to this one, which is not really a strange thing to BU. That's how they like to play. I mean, last game they lost to American, but it was 48-44. As here's a step back three from Ingram. It's off the mark. And a foul called against Benoit's standings. We didn't get to it in the open, but that Lafayette win over Army last night not really doing too much good for Lehigh.
No, not at all. But again, for for all these teams, Lafayette included, just take care of business, and kudos to the Leopards. They did just that.
There is a jump shot, and it's good from Osmar Abdullah. The first year from Cranston, Rhode Island, who has really had a special second half of his rookie season. Did not do much against Lehigh the first time these teams met, just 5 minutes, and did not score a point. And off to a good start here tonight as Ingram leans in, can't get that one to go. And Lehigh remains scoreless in the opening 5 minutes of the game. Abdullah steps into a three, that one's no good. And the rebound tipped to Gillis. Here's Nasir Whitlock. He's somebody you put in the game if you want to score some points. Ben Knosman into the game as well for Lehigh. In the corner, Gillis puts up a three. That one's no good. Abdullah the rebound. Abdullah finds Ben Palacios, the senior coming off the bench. McNair up top for Abdullah. 10 to shoot for BU. Skip pass for Palacios, driving the baseline. Palacios leans in, can't get the two to fall. Nobly the rebound. The putback no good, but a foul. Comes back into the game for BU. Ben Knosman will take it up for Lehigh. Here's Nasir Whitlock back for Knosman. Tommy Conniff into the game, sets a screen. Knosman driving in, looking for Conniff. Pass tipped and stolen away by Alexander. Kyron Alexander driving, kick out in the corner. McNair a three, it's no good. And the rebound is
into a good quality offensive possession, and that's exactly what this BU team has done as of late. They limited conference-leading American to 48 points last time out, so this is a really stout Terrier defensive team.
Conniff. Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Nice little give and go action as Whitney-Sidney leads in for the opening bucket of the game for Lehigh. Took a while for Lehigh to get going, but hey, down only by 6 despite the slow start. Abdullah inside for Defty. Pass knocked out of the hands of Defty by Conniff, and the steal is there for Knosman. Step back jumper from Whitney-Sidney, and Lehigh starting to feel something.
Whitney-Sidney, now they go outside on that little jab step by the senior. So good first 4 points for the Mountain Hawks. Again, just gaining a little bit of confidence, and that slowly but surely that'll start to boil over.
Alexander pull-up jumper, gets his own rebound, and it's poked out of his hands by Knosman, who comes up with a steal. Here's Whitney-Sidney, and he draws the foul.
Nicely in his first year. He'll just keep developing as he keeps on going throughout his 4 years.
All right, well, I'm going to criticize your math a little bit. This is technically game 28 for Lehigh, but it's game 27 for Hank Alvey, so you weren't wrong there. He did miss a game. What a finish that was by Brewster. That ends the 6-0 Lehigh run. Here is Ben Knosman. Inside for Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Whitlock in the corner, pull-up jumper is no good from the sophomore. Rebound eventually secured by Malcolm Chimezi. Brewster. Back for Abdullah, gets the pick. Pull-up jumper from the freshman is no good. Whitlock ahead to Whitney-Sidney, and it poked out but fell right to Nasir Whitlock, who is bumped by
you know the tape, you've seen other players and how their tendencies work.
Brewster knocked that one on for 14 years, so two coaches know each other pretty well.
Yeah, decently well, and good play by Alvey. Better play defensively.
Alvey blocked at the rim. Here's Palacios. I should mention it's a little bit less than 14 years is when Joe Jones took over. BU was still in the America East. So after that, since BU got to the Patriot League, it's been these two coaches. Kyron Alexander, 7 to shoot. Up top, Brewster from way downtown. That one's no good. Here comes Cam Gillis. Gillis, he's fouled.
Of outlets that you can get at this point, and especially for Gillis, he had the little bit of a height mismatch, so you really wanted to look for another outlet there.
Nobly picking off the inbound pass, and then a foul at the other end will send Brewster to. And Brewster misses the second. The two Italians fight for the rebound. It's Adeza who comes up with it. Here is Gillis. Gives to Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Looking on the interior for Alvey. Puts it up with a left hand and in. Hank Alvey with his first 2 points of the night. Lehigh back within 3.
And that's what I mean when I say that Hank Alvey has developed really nicely as a post player in his first year. He's gotten that left-handed hook shot down to a science and has developed into a much nicer player.
Here is Chimezi. Chimezi spins, can't get the lay-in to go. Offensive rebound for Nobly. And then
down low on the big man.
Malcolm Chimezi missed most of last year due to injury. BU happy to have him back. He has started every single game this season. Adeza was looking for Ingram, but a foul called. BU thought they had this
on your own.
Ingram into Whitney-Sidney. Leads in, the floater is good. 8 points for Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Lehigh all of a sudden within 1. It is a 10-3 run for Lehigh right now. Brewster, Nobly. Here's McNair. Nobly, step back jumper is no good. Offensive rebound for Chimezi, and he puts it in for 2.
Good move by McNair to create that initial separation, give it off to Nobly, and then just a long pass, I guess, if you want to call it that, inside, and then Chimezi finishing.
That's being generous with the long pass.
That was my specialty when I played.
That's how it worked out. Here is Ingram. He gets a pick from Adeza, but they run into each other, and Brewster with the steal and the slam.
Some aggressiveness right there on the rim. My goodness, Miles Brewster. Lead the charge, young fella.
Gillis. Fadeaway's no good. Alexander the rebound. Still waiting on Cairo and Alexander to score his first points of the game. McNair puts up a 3. It's no good. Ingram there for the board. Had it poked away by Alexander, and this BU team with active hands on the defensive end. They're one of the best defensive teams in the Patriot League. Here's Gillis. Whitney-Sidney dumps it down low, and Adeza had it poked. Gillis to inbound for the Mountain Hawks. 12 to shoot for Lehigh. Here's Nazir Whitlock driving the baseline. Kicks out Whitney-Sidney at open 3, and he hits! Tyler Whitney-Sidney is on fire. 11 points on 4 of 4 from the field.
Well, you got to give credit to Nasir Whitlock, too, for that dazzling pass down deep, absolutely threading the needle to get it to Whitney-Sidney.
Nobly. Down low for Defty. Ben with the, oh, he missed it. Gets it back, and Defty lays it in for 2. That was a nice move from Defty. Just couldn't get it to go, but got a second chance.
Yeah, good move by the freshman on the senior Conniff for Lehigh. And again, he's, as he develops, as he matures, he's going to get his buckets, and he's going to make those moves and capitalize on those opportunities.
Here's Whitney-Sidney driving in, and he'll go to the line for 2. When we come back, 7-0. Here comes BU down the other end. Their lead down to 2. They've led from the word go in this one as Alexander draws the foul. BU comes out in the press. Lehigh breaks it with Nasir Whitlock and Cam Gillis. Whitlock. Ingram up top. 10 to shoot for Lehigh. Turnaround jumper from Nasir Whitlock, and it's good.
Tyler Whitney-Sidney is so skilled with that no-look pass, that no-look bounce pass in the middle of the lane to Nasir Whitlock.
Here's BU. Brewster inside. Defty. And the freshman with the defty touch on the interior. First 2 points for him. Ben Defty, by the way, shoots 67% from the field. Doesn't really stray too far away from that basket.
Certainly was a defty touch inside. And again, he's going to eventually capitalize on those opportunities the more that he commits that move to memory.
Ingram with the step back jump basket that Tyler Whitney-Sidney has not had a hand in. He scored almost all the points. He's had 13 points, and then the other 2 baskets before that he assisted on.
It's time to let the other fellas eat.
Down low to Defty. The young German going to work. Pass in the corner. And the 3 is good from Asmar Abdullah. The freshman connection, Defty to Abdullah for 3. BU up by 5. Whitlock leaning in, and he's starting to feel it. Lehigh going to take an injury. It's opened up a spot, and like I said, came into the day shooting 67%. Down there on the low block, the young German, born in Berlin.
No, but that's sometimes the best way to learn, is that learning on the job, acquiring skills as you go along.
Oh, look at that finish. Nothing defty about that one.
I was going to say, acquiring skills on the job. My goodness, Ben Defty, what can he do early on?
Gillis gives to Tyler Whitney-Sidney. The pick from Conniff. Whitney-Sidney draws the foul. And he does. BU's lead down to 4. Brewster. That's the pick from Chimezi. Back to Brewster. And a foul called on the floor. It's going to go against Cam Gillis. Here's Brewster. 15 to shoot for BU. Down low, Alvey slaps that pass away. Back with the Terriers. 8 to shoot. Alexander steps into a 3, and that one's good. Kyron Alexander from downtown. BU pushing its lead up to 7.
And you knew it was only a matter of time before Alexander started to get his buckets from downtown, from beyond the arc. Patriot League honorable mention last week, 14.5.
Yeah, Tyler Whitney-Sidney coming right back at you.
And Tyler Whitney-Sidney, he's had a handful of those Patriot League honorable mentions. Certainly playing well tonight. 14 points right now, leading the way for the Mountain Hawks. 16, actually.
Chimezi hands it off. Alexander tried to give it right back to him, but Hank Alvey was wise to it. Here's Whitney-Sidney. Lost the ball, and it tracks it back down. Cam Gillis giving the orders. Ingram. Down low to Alvey. For the board. Here's Brewster driving in, gives to Chimezi, leans in, and Malcolm Chimezi with 6 points. Gillis gives to the first-year Alvey, the big man, hands off. Whitney-Sidney, an open 3, it's no good. And the rebound out to Alexander. Kyron Alexander draws a foul. At the free throw line. He was 4 of 7 from beyond the arc in that one. Big reason why BU won, although Alexander picks up his second foul right there. Rivalry game with 14, misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Brewster gives to Abdullah. Nobly in the high post. Down low to Defty. And a foul called on the floor.
How do you strategically go about things?
Knosman gets a rebound after it was tipped around by Nobly. 1 of 2 on the trip for Defty. It is a 10-point BU lead. Nice pass from Knosman to Whitney-Sidney, and he'll go to the line to try and complete the three-point play.
And if you
takes the free throw to complete the three-point play, he's up to 19 now. A phenomenal game for Whitney-Sidney in what might be his last one here at Stabler Arena. Nobly driving in. Goes up with it. It was stripped to the ball, but a foul called. And that's going to be the third against Canot. Misses them both. Whitney-Sidney grabbing the board. Here's Gillis for Whitney-Sidney now. Adeza steps into a 3. That one's in and out. Brewster there for the board. Nobly. Cross-court pass to Palacios in the corner. Left wide open. No good from the corner. Eventually the rebound corralled by Whitney-Sidney. Final minute of play here in the first half. Lehigh down by 7. Whitlock down low looking for Adeza, and a foul called on the floor. It's going to go against Palacios.
Palacios with 3 fouls, Knosman with 3 fouls on the flip side. So certainly don't want to go down bodies, especially late in the game when things tend to get tight.
1 of 2 on that trip from Adeza. And Ben Palacios, a strong defensive player for BU, and there's some defense from Whitlock. Was looking for Whitney-Sidney, just couldn't connect after the steal. Steals it right back and lost it again. What a sequence. And now they give it to the veteran guard, Miles Brewster, and Joe Jones will call a timeout as he wants to talk things. And certainly would be a sign of the 6-point difference right now at the half. Brewster, 10 seconds to go in the half, hands it off. Abdullah for Alexander now. Still with Chiron Alexander, pull-up jumper is good. And that will do it for the finals, and then the finals will be on Sunday.
Yeah, phenomenal athletes from both of these institutions, and then phenomenal athletes tonight as well.
Lehigh with the ball to start the second half. Ingram's floater is no good. Up ahead to Chiron Alexander. BU opening up the second half with his 8-point lead. They'll look to grow it. Here's Brewster. Back out for McNair. Down low, Nobly leaves it off for Chimezi. Can't get the first to go, but the second is good.
And we mentioned it at half, those offensive rebounds coming into play for BU. Chimezi getting a second chance opportunity, a 10-point advantage.
7 offensive rebounds for BU, none for Lehigh. Ingram. Down low for Alvey. Hank Alvey kicks out for Cam Gillis. 6 to shoot for Lehigh. Tyler Whitney-Sidney draws the foul.
Again, Tyler 7 against Americans. So, again, like you said, Marco, his final game inside of Stabler Arena, maybe his final game inside of Stabler Arena, wants to go out with a bang.
Chimezi on the inside. Puts it up with a left hand, and it's in. Malcolm Chimezi with 8 points now. Excuse me, 10 into double figures for BU. Whitney-Sidney throws it up and in. 23 now for Tyler Whitney-Sidney.
And it just seems like the game plan right now in this second half, or really this whole game too for that matter, just give the ball to 22 and White.
Chimezi kicks out for Brewster. Fadeaway jumper is no good. Alvey is there for the rebound. Here comes Gillis. Whitney-Sidney finds Benoit on the inside. Gives it to Gillis. Up top, Whitney-Sidney, 10 to shoot for Lehigh. Tyler Whitney-Sidney draws another foul. Doing it all. Better to be lucky than good. Although I would say he's been good and maybe got a little lucky there.
Certainly has been both tonight. And again, game plan, give the ball to 22 and White. Give kudos to the Mountain Hawks. You know, when guys are having a really good night, you want to feed the hot hand, but you really need other players, your role players especially, to start to step up and try and chip away at this lead.
24 points now for Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Lehigh trailing by 7. Here's Brewster. Brewster's taking it straight to the rack, and he's fouled. He's going to go on this trip. BU's lead back up to 9. Here's Ingram. Now it is Gillis. It's the pick from Benoit. Whitney-Sidney driving, looking for an option. Back out for Ingram. Alvey on the inside, 8 to shoot. Alvey up with the left hand, it is no good. Alexander pulls down the rebound. Brewster gives to Nobley. Alexander draws the foul. It's going to go against Josh Ingram. Game is Alexander makes both free throws. And BU's lead up to 11. That's the largest it has been all game. Gillis for Benoit. Here's Whitney-Sidney, 10 to shoot. Benoit lines it up. It's no good. Nobley there for the board. Here's Abdullah the other way. Gives to McNair in the corner. Puts up a 3. It's no good. Rebound tipped around into the hands of Whitlock. Nasir Whitlock driving in. Draws a foul. That'll send Nasir Whitlock season. Led to more playing time and it's put his offensive gifts on full display.
And he's become a more vocal leader, especially in the absence of Keith Higgins and Boubé Moma.
Alexander missed the 3, got his own rebound, missed again. Another offensive rebound rejected by Alvey, and now a foul. It's them both. Back to an 11-point lead for BU. Tyler Whitney-Sidney passes out of the trap. Here's Gillis. Whitney-Sidney leaves it off for Alvey, who goes up strong for 2. Abdullah. Nearly had it poked away there by Gillis. Here's McNair. Dumps it down low for Defty. Knocked out of bounds.
Offensively, don't give the ball away so easily. We mentioned it in the first half. You're going really fast, and that's what you want as a team, to try and dictate the pace and catch them.
And Ben Knosman into the game for Cam Gillis. Catch and shoot off the inbound from Palacios, no good. Rebound tracked down there by Hank Alvey. Nasir Whitlock leaves it off for Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Knosman back for Whitney-Sidney. The senior driving in, and a foul called against Palacios. Whitlock to inbound after the foul. It goes into Alvey. Hands it back to Whitlock. Pull-up jumper is good. Nasir Whitlock up to 8 points.
And you want to talk about another key to get back into this game for Lehigh. You need to unlock number 1 in White right there. Nasir Whitlock, get that elbow jumper, get going from outside.
Defty hands off to Abdullah. Kick out in the corner. Palacio hoists up a 3. That one's no good. Gets his own rebound. Abdullah down low to Defty. One-on-one, the 2 freshmen. Alvey pokes it away. And a foul after Knosman and Defty.
It'll be an inbound under the basket.
Into Alexander. Here's Brewster. McNair down low. Defty puts it up. It's no good. Offensive rebound for Alexander. Kick out for Abdullah. driving in. Abdullah throws it up, no good. Offensive rebound for Defty. Alexander's fouled.
And those offense
8 for 8 from the line, that doesn't help either. 13 points for the sophomore. Whitlock gives to Knosman. Skip pass for Adeza, and the corner three from Whitney-Sidney is good. Tyler Whitney-Sidney ties his career high of 27.
Again, Tyler Whitney-Sidney absolutely dialed in for this game, but you need those players around him, those support players, those role players coming off the bench to really step up. A lot of players right now with 0 points.
Abdullah driving in. 8 to shoot. Chimezi on the interior, kick out. McNair hoists up a three. It's no good. And the board there for Adeza.
Strong rebound by the first year.
Here's Whitlock driving in, throws it up. Oh, hung on the rim, but he'll shoot two. Sear Whitlock. Lehigh press causing some issues, but BU deals with them. Abdullah driving in. Fadeaway jumper from the short corner is good from the freshman. BU back up by 6. Adeza gives to Knosman. And a foul. Going to go against Nico Nobili. That'll be his second. Right now, Alfredo Adeza, who's also from Italy, although he's on Knosman this moment. The two were backing each other down earlier. Adeza gives to Whitlock. Here's Whitney-Sidney on the inside. Adeza double teamed. The pass intercepted by Alexander. Inside for Chimezi, and it's stripped by... Gets it into Nobili. Brewster in the corner for Abdullah. That's the pick from Chimezi. Now goes down low to the big man. Chimezi draws the foul. Second to go 1 of 2 and push BU's lead up to 7. Nasir Whitlock controls. 12 minutes to play. Whitlock driving in, nearly had it stripped, leaves it off for Ingram. Kicks out in the corner, extra pass. Whitlock steps into a three. Nasir Whitlock from downtown.
You asked earlier in the broadcast, how does the Mountain Hawks come back in this one? Exactly that. Make your shots from outside. Get points from the young man.
Abdullah. Working on Whitlock, turns around and gets the 2 to fall. Asmar Abdullah up to 9. Adeza. Driving in, Alfredo Adeza off the window for 2. 4-point game. Here's Brewster, back for Nobili, wide open 3. It's good. Nico Nobili answering from downtown. Whitlock. Adeza, a long 3. Got it. Alfredo Adeza is fired up.
The emotion from the young man. You gotta love to see it if you're on Lehigh's side.
Brewster. Alexander, 10 to shoot for BU. Cairo and Alexander, fadeaway jumpers, no good. And the rebound
maker down the stretch, matching up against Ben Defty for Boston. It's a good matchup right now. You got Nasir Whitlock currently with possession 13. So watch out.
Adeza Was looking down low for Ingram, but Brewster read the pass perfectly. Here's McNair, and he draws the foul. Career, then was associate head coach at BC for a couple years before coming to BU. So a couple of free throws made there from McNair. Give the Terriers a 6-point lead. Adeza kicks out. Whitlock puts up a fadeaway three. Nasir Whitlock is feeling it.
I think that was all Adeza right there. Going in tight to the lane, wanted to go up, held on to the ball, did not get it stripped from him, kicked out to Whitlock for that three. Great job by Whitlock, great job by Adeza.
Dump down low to Defty. Defty goes up and off the glass for an easy two. Here is Tyler Whitney-Sidney, Lehigh trailing by 5. Here's Edward Benoit. Adeza swings for Ingram. Whitlock open for three. He hits again. Nasir Whitlock makes it a 2-point game. He's up to 19 now.
It is a dangerous thing, Marco, when Nasir Whitlock gets hot from beyond the arc.
Yeah, BU is finding out the hard way. Skip pass for Alexander. He drives. Rejected by Adeza. Lehigh with a chance to tie or even take their first lead of the game on this possession. Kick out for Benoit. Poked away by Alexander. Here comes Brewster all by himself. Lays it in for 2. Back out to a 4-point lead for the Terriers. Here is the danger man right now. Number 1 for Lehigh, Nasir Whitlock. Adeza for 3. It's no good. Nobly brings down the board. Brewster. Back for McNair. McNair draws the foul. That's going to be the 4th on. There you go, they said it all. 0 for 2 on that trip for McNair, who's typically a good free throw shooter at 73%.
I still wish that applied to us. I'm kind of hungry.
All you got to do is buy a ticket, Ryan. Here is Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Driving in, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. 2-point game.
He's been outstanding tonight, been outstanding his whole entire Lehigh career. Scored 1,000 points last year, a bunch of points this year.
Was an All-Patriot League first-teamer last year, third-teamer 2 years ago, made the All-Rookie team his freshman year. As there's a turnover, and Lehigh can tie or take the lead. Gillis has been quiet. Again, coming back from injury. Whitlock finds Adeza. Kick out. Whitney-Sidney for the lead. It's no good. Rebound there for Alexander. Abdullah. Back to Kyron Alexander. Alexander spinning and drawing a foul of a good player when you don't have it going from the field, but you attack the basket, get to the free throw line where he's now 10 of 10. He gives BU a 4-point lead. Whitney-Sidney driving in. That one's no good, but another foul. And Tyler Whitney-Sidney's going to go to who is putting them on their back right now with 31 points.
And again, stepping up in the absence of Keith Higgins, both vocally off the floor and leading by example on the floor. You mentioned it, his first 30-point game of his career, 8 of 10 from the floor. There's not much stopping him right now.
Chimezi looking unstoppable as well. The big man with 13 now for BU. Here is Cam Gillis. Seems like every time Lehigh pulls close, the Terriers have an answer. Whitlock, 8 to shoot, a long three. No good from the sophomore. Brewster, the veteran guard, hands off to Palacios. Chimezi into the corner. Abdullah for three. It's no good. Gillis there for the board. Gillis. Here's Whitney-Sidney. Gillis driving. Back out for Whitlock. 8 to shoot. Whitlock driving in. Righty layup is good. Tough finish from the sophomore.
Give it to the hot hands right now, Marco. Tyler Whitney-Sidney, Nasir Whitlock, 21 now for the sophomore.
Whitlock too shy of his career high. Brewster, pull-up jumper from the free throw line is no good. Gillis with the rebound. Throws it back for Whitlock. Gillis. Back out, Whitlock for three. It's no good. Alexander tracks down the rebound. And we're gonna get a timeout.
Great league matchup.
3:51 to go. Ball into Abdullah. Here's Nobley. Brewster dumps it down low. Defty is rejected. Picked up by Nobley. 7 to shoot for BU. Brewster gets going. 3 to shoot. Brewster's just gonna have to throw it up, and it's in. How did he make that? Miles Brewster with a phenomenal three for the Terriers.
We said we were in for a wild finish, and we certainly weren't going to get out of it without a few spectacular plays.
Here's Whitlock. 8 to shoot for Lehigh, out to Gillis. 5 to shoot now. Gillis driving in, leans in, can't get the 2 to fall. Nobley there for the rebound. Miles Brewster slowing down the pace. Gets the pick from Defty. Here's McNair. Dumps it down low to the big man, and a foul called. It's going to go against Alfredo Adeza. Gillis picks it up. 2.5 minutes to go. Lehigh down by 7. Tyler Whitney-Sidney has been the hot hand all night. Gives to Gillis, wide open three. It is in and out, no good. Chimezi there for the board. And there you see in the corner of your screen, Brett Reed rallying on the troops. Lehigh needs a stop here. Nobley, Brewster driving in, and the layup comes up short. Adeza the rebound. Whitlock driving the baseline, throws it up, no good, but a foul. Gonna go against McNair, it'll be his second. And Whitlock comes up short. Alexander there for BU. Gives to the veteran guard, Miles Brewster, who brings it up slowly. BU in no rush with a 6-point lead. Defty. Hands off for Alexander. Cairo and Alexander in the lane with the 2. And Lehigh's got to get a move on it. 1:20 to go. They're going to call a timeout. It is, and they're going to need to. 1:19 to go. Ball into Gillis. Here's Tyler Whitney-Sidney. Driving straight to the rack and can't get the lay-in to go. He'll shoot 2 free throws. Comes up short, and Brewster corrals the rebound. Adeza did a nice job to tip it out, but Brewster was there for BU. Brewster kicks out to Nobley. In the corner, Alexander.
Down by 7 at this point, so no need to dramatically rush until later on in the game. Still have some time.
Whitlock back out. Whitney-Sidney for 3. It's no good. And Adeza tipped that one out right to Alexander.
And now is when, it's a good move. Now is when you need to start the foul parade, because
first road win in the Patriot League this season. It's been incredible. They are 8-0 in home games, in home league games, and 0-8 in road league games. But that looks like it's about to change. Whitney-Sidney over 30. Whitlock with 24. Here's Nobley, who's just going to hold in the corner, play some keep away. And there's the foul. Alexander's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
And BU Lafayette, that matchup, things so tight right now, 6 and 7 in the conference. So that'll be a good matchup.
It will, as there's the steal. Although with this win, BU will clinch a top 6 seed. So that matchup won't matter much in terms of that, as Edward Benoit gets off one last 3. And that's going to do it. BU takes down Lehigh 79-68, the final.